Awesome. Thank you. So our next speaker, and I'm so grateful for all of you who have gone up to this point because we're so on track time-wise. So our next speaker is a good friend of mine. I have known her for 21 years now. We've both kind of grown up in this profession. Sheryl Morley lives in Virginia with her husband, Jonathan Emord, and twins Justice and Angelica. And fun fact, she actually met her husband, Jonathan, through Youngevity because he's one of the premier First Amendment rights attorneys in the country and has helped Dr. Wallach fight the FDA. In 2017, Sheryl was inducted into the GoPro Verified $1 Million Earner Hall of Fame. And I tell you that because as a gal working at Taco Bell, I don't think she ever thought that she would walk across that stage to accept that award. She has stepped into her greatness. She is the godmother of Youngevity. She is our upline, all of us. And to see the leader who she's become over the last 22 years really takes my breath away. She was awarded the 2018 Youngevity Trainer of the Year, and the health evaluation system and the health coach certification program has been instrumental in helping so many of us in our success in Youngevity. I want to say hello and introduce you to Sheryl Morley.
Thank you, Denise. Oh my gosh, you guys, this has been so absolutely fantastic and really life-changing for me. Thank you so much to Deb and Lisa and Avelia and Yolanda and Kara. Oh my gosh, this has been so awesome. And I look forward to still hearing from Carmen and Louise and Jeanette. And I'm sure I'm missing someone, but I know that they are there.
Lorraine, sorry.
Lorraine Williamson. Yes. Oh my gosh, this is so exciting. You guys, I am so grateful. And let me start my timer. And Denise, thank you so much for inviting me. I feel so honored to be here today. And I was just really excited when you asked me. I was thinking, what am I doing in my life that is really changing my life up and making my life better? And so I decided today to talk to you a little bit and share with you some of the things I'm doing. And it all starts with raising our standards. And that's something that I have definitely done. And so we're going to talk about the steps that I took to raise my standards. And I'm just really hoping and praying at the end of this time that we share together, that you feel confident in choosing to take the steps to elevate your life. And I really believe that that starts with raising your standards and setting new standards for yourself. So what is a standard? Well, for today, there's a bunch of different definitions, but for today, we're going to, the one that I chose is a level of quality or attainment. Okay. And so this is the way I kind of look at standards. So what will you settle for in your life and what will you not settle for? Okay. So just think about that for a minute. Make sure you have your pen and paper because we're going to do like a couple of little things here in a minute of writing some things down. Also, the actions that you take because of your beliefs, right? So for instance, let's say that you believe that you are worth $25 an hour, right? So you're like, I'm worth $25 an hour. You go in for a job interview, whatever it is, and they say, we're going to give you $24 an hour. And you're like, no. So it's like the line that you draw in the sand for yourself. That's what it's like. So what's okay in your life and what is not? So Alexander Hamilton said, those who stand for nothing fall for anything. So standards are who you become. The standards you set for yourself are who you become. And you guys, as women, and absolutely myself, if things start happening in our life. Life's going crazy. We get pulled in a million different directions. This happens and that happens, and the kids and our husbands and our businesses. And all of these things start happening. And if we don't have standards set for ourselves, then we just kind of, I don't know, I lose my self-confidence. I don't feel as worthy anymore. I start feeling like I'm not getting done what I need to get done. And I start feeling like a failure. And so let's go through the steps of setting some standards for ourselves. So the very first step is we need to get clear on what we want and what we don't want in our lives. So think about that. Number two, the second step is we need to pick a standard for ourselves, a brand new standard in 3 major areas of our life. And then number 3, the third step is give yourself grace. That might be my favorite one. It's also the hardest for me. Okay, so let's walk through each of these steps, and I'm going to explain exactly what we're going to do so that at the end of our time together, you guys understand, and I want you to write these things down. I want you to write these with me. So the number 1, the step 1, what do you want more in your life? So write that down. We're going to take a couple of minutes to do that. And as you're writing that down, I wanted to share with you a couple of things that I wanted more in my life. And I wrote these things down about a year ago. Okay. So what do you want more in your life? For me, I wanted, number 1, I wanted more peace. I wanted more peace in my life. I wanted to feel more confident to move in the direction that I chose to go. I wanted more self-worth. Regardless of what was going on in my life, I wanted to feel worthy. And then the last thing that I chose that I really wanted more in my life was beach time, because I absolutely love the beach. Okay. So jot those down, jot that down. What is, and you can just put 1 or 2 things down for right now, that's fine. But I really want you to think about this question throughout your life. Okay. Now, what are you done with in your life? Wow. And I have to tell you, it was easier for me to figure out the things that I was done with in my life than it was to think of the things that I wanted more of. And that may happen, and that's okay. So let me share with you some of the things that I was totally done with. And by the way, I'd never thought about any of these things before. So I think it's really important that we answer these 2 questions in our lives, because it helps us. You know, I find this so fascinating. Today, we're talking about getting to know ourselves better and how hard that is. Absolutely. This was one of the hardest things that I've ever done, but I think it's so important to become the women and the leaders that we want to become. Okay, so here's the things that I was done with in my life. Feeling responsible for people when they aren't as successful as they want to be. People putting me down. Not speaking my mind. Not shining and being who I am. Playing small. And for me, playing small a lot was acting like I didn't know, what I was supposed to do, or I wasn't sure what I was doing, or always when someone would ask me a question, I don't know, I have no idea. So I wanted no more of that. So those are the things that I came up with for me. So just keep in mind, what do you want more of in your life, and what are you done with in your life? Okay. So let's move on here. So the standards and habits that you create are the things that you want more of, and eliminate the things that you are done with. So as you create these new habits, that's exactly what will happen for you. Checking time here. Okay, so step number 2 is I want you guys to each, and at the end of this, so you can just kind of listen for a little bit, but at the end of this portion, step number 2, we'll take a couple of minutes so that we can each write, because I want you to have a brand new standard as we go out of this call today, okay? Because this is really going to help you. It's changed my life completely when I decided that I was going to have these standards and really stick to them. So here we go. So we're going to pick a standard in 3 areas of our lives. So the first area, and you can write this down, the very first area that I want you to pick a brand new standard in is business, the area of business. Number 2 is, and I put these together because I think they're like 1,000% intertwined: mental, emotional, and spiritual. And what I did is I have a small new standard for each of these, and I'll share the standards that I have for myself, just to kind of give you some ideas. And then the third one is physical. Okay, so business, mental, emotional, and spiritual, and then physical. Okay, so here we go. I'm going to share the things that I've set and how they've really changed my life. Okay, and you guys, you don't have to do my standards at all, but just be thinking about it. I want to give you ideas so that you can come up with the own standards that you set in your life. Okay, so first of all, I believe that all of us have skills that we struggle with. Ladies and gentlemen, the hardest thing for me to do is follow up. I don't know why. I love to talk to people. I love to share things with them. But when it comes to follow up, it is so hard for me. So I decided to make my weakness my strength. And so my new standard is that I will absolutely not send out a health evaluation to anybody until I have scheduled the follow-up appointment. Because let me tell you, I can share this health evaluation with everybody, and then it gets super awkward if you don't have that appointment made to follow up. Because then you're like, oh, did you fill it out? I don't, and it's just back and forth. And then I feel bad. Then I just won't even talk to them. Right. So I decided to never send that out until I have the follow-up appointment with them. Okay. And number 2, the second one that I did for business, the second standard is I will listen to a Deb Erickson Neuro tool every single day. And that has made a huge difference in my life. Now, the one that I'm loving right now, and I will say that this is my favorite one that I've ever heard from her. And I've listened to quite a few of them, and I believe is making the most difference. It's called Rise and Thrive. And when I'm done with this, I can put that little link I'll put the link in the chat so that you guys can have that. But I absolutely love that one. It's called Rise and Thrive. So I've committed to and raised that standard for myself that I will listen to a Deb Erickson Neuro tool every single day. Okay, so number 3, the third standard that I set in business is that I will be in the 300 club every month because I am done playing small. Now, please notice how when I have made or set a new standard or set a standard that I'm raising in my life, I do it a certain way. I will not send a health evaluation out until I've scheduled the follow-up appointment. It's like a statement. And I read these things every single morning, right? I will listen to a Deb Erickson Neuro tool every single day. I will be in the 300 club every month. Okay, so make sure that when you're writing these, that you do it as a statement. Okay, let's talk for a minute about the mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being. Oh my goodness. Okay, so I decided that I was completely done with putting up with everyone's crap. And let me tell you, it's beginning with me, starting with my own, right? Because I am so hard on myself and I treat myself worse than I would treat an enemy, right? An enemy. I just treat myself so bad. I beat myself up. Something goes a certain way and I'm just so horrible to myself. And I was in this cycle for 4 years of shame and self-loathing and just, not liking myself and really beating myself up. And so I decided that my new higher standard is that I will be kind to myself no matter what. So no matter what's going on in my life, no matter what's happening, I will be kind to myself and I will seek support and guidance in all areas of my life. Okay. So for the mental, emotional, and spiritual well-being, my second one that I decided that I would do is I will do my magic morning every single morning. Okay. Some of you know what that is. I get up and spend time spiritually, mentally, emotionally, and all sorts of different things, writing in my journal, listening to the Calm app, all sorts of different things, reading in my scriptures, all of those things that are important to me and really make my day fantastic. So my new standard there is I will do my magic morning every morning. And then my third statement that I decided to do for this part is I will live in a state of gratitude no matter what. Okay. So I will live in a state of gratitude. Okay. So physical is our last one. And here's the three that I chose. And it's so funny. I chose these three because they were really hard for me. And I can't even explain to you why they were hard for me. But it's like I would tell myself, oh, I'll do this or I'll do that. And then I wouldn't do it. And then I beat myself up and I would feel bad. And I would, I'd spend the rest of the day, oh, well, you should have done that. I can't believe you didn't do that. So really beating myself up. So for physical, I said, I will walk for 1 hour every day. Okay. Every single day, I will walk for 1 hour. The second one I put in, I will fast for at least 16 hours every day. Every day I fast for 16 hours. Now, if I eat a little bit later, past 6 or 7 o'clock, well, then I'm not going to eat until the 16 hours is up the next day. Completely changed my life. Now, the third one that I chose was the hardest for me. And that would be that I would cold plunge every day for 10 minutes. So that one was really hard for me, but the benefits from doing it, I knew were so good. And when I did it with one of my friends who talked me into it, I felt so good. And so I decided to do that. And it's not freezing cold. It's not a cold plunge in 0 degree. Don't do that. But it's at about 55 degrees. And I do it every single day for 10 minutes. Now, those things have really changed my life. All of these things that I've done have given me confidence that I can do anything, right? And that confidence is spilling over into all areas of my life. So we're going to take just a minute here and write some things down that you would like to do in those 3 different places, like a standard that you would like to change in your life, that you'd like to elevate, that you'd like to rise up, with that standard. And really, because, the benefits are so incredible. And start small. You don't have to do the things that I did. Like one of the great ones that I love is make your bed. Hello. That is a fantastic standard that you can set for yourself. Or drink 100 ounces of water every single day. That's not easy, but we need that to feel healthy and to be healthy, right? And some of the other things that I didn't put, like taking my nutritional supplements every day, I don't need that because I just already do that. I pick things that it's a bit of a stretch, but don't pick something, you guys, so hard that you're going to beat yourself up if you can't do it. Okay. And let's go on to the next one, which is, and this is the last one that I want to talk to you guys about. And this is give yourself grace. Ladies, it was so hard for me to do this one because it's something that I don't do. And, all of the women that I talk to, it's something that they don't do, right? And so when you don't achieve something and when you don't achieve what your ideal of perfection is, it hurts us, and we need to give ourselves that grace. And we're so willing to give that grace to everybody else, but never to ourselves. So think about that. When you have a friend that's struggling or that didn't quite get something done on time or said they would do something and didn't, think about the way that you treat them. You say, it's okay. Don't worry. we'll get through it. We'll get over it, whatever it is. We're so willing to give that grace to others. But think about what you say to yourself, and Deb Erickson says that women have 65,000 negative thoughts a day. Okay. That's a lot, right? So we need to give ourselves that grace. And as we set these standards, and as we rise up, and as we do these things, our confidence soars, right? Our confidence soars. So I wanted all of us to set a new standard. So please write this down with me and commit to it. If you feel in your heart that you would like to, I would love for you to do it. It's really made a difference in my life. So here we go. When I'm not perfect, or I felt like I've let myself or others down, I will give myself the grace, the same grace that I would give to my best friend. Each of you are incredible. You're beautiful. And I promise you that you are more powerful than you know. And I know that by raising our standards together, we will be more confident. We will learn to love ourselves more. And we will all be compelled to reach out and help all of those around us. Thank you.
Oh my God. I knew I was going to cry at some point. But you were yellow, and I didn't think it was going to be on the yellow's turn. Sheryl, it just goes to show, your heart has cracked wide open to us. And, I think that what you said, about giving yourself the grace and giving yourself the grace that you would afford your best friend, it's so true, and we are hardest on ourselves. And, when you look at the societal pressures on women, and not just women, you guys, I mean, men same, this year 2020 has been brutal on all of us. And so giving ourselves the grace and knowing, this is so hard for me, but knowing that it's okay to say no to certain things in order to make room for the things that we want, and that things that we can grow, raising our standards. I mean, it's okay to say no. And sometimes we need to weed and prune so that the new flowers can come into our life. So Sheryl, thank you. And I feel your heart. And I know that you have done this process actively yourself. I can feel it. I love you.